Alright, so to begin your nesting doll, you're going to need three things. You're going to need your clay, your wooden sculpting tools, and your container with slip. Again, slip is just water and clay mixed together. So you're going to take out your clay. And if you're in the classroom, you do have access to more clay than this. You just need to ask. But we need to make 4 pinch pots. 2 larger ones and then 2 smaller ones since we're making a nesting doll with 2 layers. So I'm just going to portion out my clay, and this is what you should do at home as well. And I'm just going to estimate 2 larger pieces and 2 smaller pieces. The larger pieces are going to be for the outside layer, the smaller pieces are going to be for the inside layer. Let's see. One other thing I forgot to mention, if you're not engraving or painting and you need to add on extra details, you also need to section out a piece of your clay for extra details that I would keep on the side. So after I have all this sectioned out, so my outer layer, top and bottom, my inner layer, top and bottom, and my details, I want to roll these out into 4 different balls. Again, the way to do that, just put it against the table, have your hand flat, and just go in a back and forth motion until it's in a ball. Alright, once you have everything rolled up into the balls for the outside and the inside, you can start making your pinch pot. In this video, I'm just going to show you a standard shape for a nesting doll, one the longer pot and one shorter one. But if there's a specific character shape or heart shape or food shape that you want to make and you can't figure it out, you can always call with me during office hours to work on it together. Alright, so I'm going to start with just a standard pinch pot shape. So for this one, I'm going to just start out with a regular sphere, a regular ball of clay, because I want to make it just a standard bowl shape. So I have my ball of clay ready. So to start a pinch pot, you need to start with a hole in the middle because you're going to pinch the opening wider. So I'm just going to start with my thumbs up, thumbs down, and just poke a hole with my thumb in the middle of the ball of clay, a little over halfway. Make sure not to go all the way through. And then you should have a ball of clay with a hole in the middle. Then I need to start my pinching part. So to pinch, I'm not just going to use 2 fingers, I'm going to use my thumb and all 4 of my fingers so that I can make the walls more even. So I'm just going to put my thumb in the middle and the rest of my fingers on the outside and slowly just add pressure and push. That is what we're going to do all around to make the opening wider. As you rotate and make your opening wider, if you notice things begin to crack like that, just put your hands in some slip as you go. Use it to erase those cracks. Slip works as a glue, but for clay, slip also works as an eraser. So just slowly spin your pot, use your hand to pinch it. And I am moving a little bit quicker in the video just for time's sake, but the slower you go, I'd say the better, just to make sure you have even, thicker walls, and so that you have time to really pay attention to details and smooth out those cracks as you go along. So notice how I'm taking the time to smooth it out. It makes it look much more put together, and as it dries, it will make it sturdier as well. So you're just going to go slowly, and notice how there are cracks on the outside as well. Take the time to smooth those over. I think that is one of the most crucial things when making a pinch pot. Alright, I'll come back in just a minute when I finish this up. Alright, now I've finished pinching the bottom of my nesting doll. If it's round on the bottom, feel free to tap it against your table to make the bottom flat, and feel free to smooth out anything that comes up so that it can sit on the table on its own. Alright, for the top, I want to demonstrate making a more like a taller pinch pot. So instead of starting off with a ball of clay, we want to start off with more of a cylinder shape. So to do that, I just want to take my ball of clay, take my palm, and instead of rolling it in a circle to create a ball of clay, I just want to roll it back and forth as if we're starting a coil, but it's just to make the sphere a little bit longer and more cylinder-like. So as you see, as you apply pressure evenly, it should start to become more of a cylinder instead of a sphere. And now I'm going to just take it in my hand, move it back and forth. And I know I want one side to be flat, so I'm just going to tap one side against the table so it's flat. The other side I'm going to keep it round because I want the top of my nesting doll to be round. So now I sort of have a cylinder shape, the flat bottom, and sort of rounded top instead of a sphere. And then once we have this shape, just because we started off, you know, with a little bit of a taller height, I'm just going to start it off the same way as I would start off a pinch pot with a ball of clay. I'm just going to do thumbs up, thumbs down, make a hole in the middle, try to do over halfway. Maybe because this one's longer, I'll use my pointer finger instead. Remember not to go all the way through. Alright, so once you have a cylinder with your hole in the middle, you're going to start pinching the same exact way with your, I like to call them crab claws. Put my thumb in the middle, and then I'm going to slowly move in a circle and apply pressure. And don't forget, as you move along, you can use your slip to start erasing cracks. Do you see how effective that is in just smoothing things out? So again, just a reminder, your biggest friend is going to be taking your time, taking the time to smooth out cracks like that. It really is as simple as taking some slip and adding some pressure to rub it away. I think that really adds a smoother, more finished look to your project if you take the time to do that. Okay, so again, I'm just going to go around, rotate as I pinch, and eventually the pot will start to become wider and wider and form itself. Okay, I'll come back in just a minute once I finish rotating and pinching this into the pot that I want. Again, just for time's sake, I didn't really smooth this out and create like a final finished product, but just to show you. So the idea is this would be your top, this would be the bottom, and then when you open it up, there would be another smaller version inside. So I'm going to take my portioned clay for the inside top and bottom, and I will come back once I finish doing the exact same process, just small enough where it would fit inside the first ones. Alright, here's my little 1-minute version of the inside top and bottom. So again, the idea is that the smaller versions, once stacked like a nesting doll, would fit inside the larger versions. So when you open it up, there are layers. After you reach this step, you want to take your extra clay you saved for details. If you want to attach, you know, features of a character or an animal or of whatever object you're making, this would be the time to slip and score them on to the inside and the outside. If you're engraving, I would wait till it's leather hard and use your wooden sculpting tool to add those. Or if you are going to leave it plain, you have to wait till it completely dries to paint it with acrylic paint. So those are your decorating ideas. Once you finish that step, then you need to take a photo and turn it in on the Team's Assignments tab. If you're working on it between days, make sure to put these in your large Ziploc bag you received that held all of your supplies and completely seal it. If you just leave clay out in the open, it will dry up and you can't work on it anymore. So make sure to completely seal this in a bag if you're working on it between days. Alright, so here's an example that I made. I just started to paint it. I just have the white layer. But the idea is to open it up and have a smaller version on the inside. So here's one example that you could look at. Another example is a student example that has just started to be painted. So there were no extra clay details attached, but the details were created through the paint. This student obviously created way more than 2 layers, which you definitely can do. It is optional. But this is a really great example of the nesting doll, and all of the bottom layers are on the inside as well. So the project requirements are you just have 2 layers, but if you want to go above and beyond and create as many layers as you can fit, that's totally an option as well. And if you have any other questions, please make sure to message me on Teams.